3-1 White Sox in the first game of 4 this season between the Cubs and the Sox, and this is the CHGO Crosstown Showdown postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use the promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Luke Stuckmeyer, Herb Lawrence, Cody Del Mendo, Sean Anderson down in the corner, and we will have our beat writers as well, Ryan Herrera and Vinnie Duber, hopefully joining us when they get done with their work in the clubhouse and getting interviews after the game. Sox strike first, and guys, really this first game came down to a dribbler to third, a home run, and a bad play on the infield, a throwing error.
Yeah, I'll take it. It was a nasty game, a boring game, but boring wins are still wins. Yes, I'll tell you what, in that left column. Sean, how you feel about that?
Mercy, I feel great. Ugly game, like you guys are saying, but I mean, that's kind of baseball in Chicago in 2022. You have a dead ball, so I mean, nothing's leaving the yard outside of Tim Anderson, and that was probably the most shocking thing in the night. But you see that too. I mean, that's, baseball in 2020 summed up. Low line drives will get out, but these sky mammoth shots that are hit 110 plus won't leave the yard. But yeah, ugly night tonight, and glad we're not Vinny and Ryan up at the Cubs press box.
That's what I was going to say. Like we're all winners. We weren't at the ballpark tonight.
Yeah. Right. Spin zone. Wasn't at the game. Spin zone. We're all going to die someday anyway. There you go.
Cody, you seem down.
Cody.
Why is that, Cody?
What's up?
Real rough night.
It's a loss.
I'm just annoyed that the Cubs lost because the baseball gods tonight. I am annoyed the way they lost. Yeah.
The White Sox had 26 balls put in play. I mean, the White Sox just absolutely put it onto the Cubs tonight. It was pressure. They were hitting everything that the Sox or the Cubs were throwing.
I roll all the way as I throw myself into Lake Michigan.
When you don't strike out anybody,
the Cubs
don't
bullpen,
walk anybody.
The Cubs bullpen shut the Sox down tonight, except for the one pitch that Tim Anderson hit out because for one inning the wind decided to whirl a ball into the stands because Jason Hayward hit a fly ball harder than that Tim Anderson homer. So
no, he didn't.
I am annoyed.
He did not, my man.
By a lot of things.
Now, Ryan, I will say Berger had
Berger
had 2 hits that didn't make it to third base.
61-mile-an-hour dribbler.
But that's the way it goes.
My ass, bro. Like, that's some bullshit. That is some bull. I screamed it. I'd rather just lose because we suck, not because of some bullshit. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not saying the Sox are bad or anything. The Cubs lost because of some bullshit, because of the fucking weather, that we shouldn't even play this game tonight. The Sox still should have won. I'm not taking any credit away. What I'm pissed about is how they lost. So, congrats on your W.
That's great.
It is what it is. But I just wish you just would have blown us out 8-1 tonight instead of win 3-1.
You got to deal with like 80 more shows like this with Cody.
This is
how it goes.
Sean gets very emotional.
Welcome for being here with me.
Here's what I do, Sean. I'm going to show you what I do. Cody, there is good news. There were no runs scored in the first inning. Huh?
Right.
No runs first inning.
Minus
136. Never a doubt.
He's a lot more pleasant when he's winning money.
And the Cubs have scored a run in 69 straight games.
69 straight games. That's very nice.
1 run.
Nice.
So we got that
all right,
going.
I got it all out of my system. I'm sure the comment section is going to roast me now. That's fine. Whatever.
I mean, you look today, there's 45 balls put in play, and I think the White Sox had over, more than half of them. I mean, the White Sox were just a better team tonight. I mean, that was just shown at every single inning, Cody. I'm sorry to show you it, but even in that no-run first inning, the White Sox had 3 balls put into play over 100 miles per hour, and I'm pretty sure the Cubs struck out twice, and then the other one was a ground out. I mean, it was just shown in that first inning. The White Sox came to play, and they had a great approach, and Herb, we've seen it. It's the Sox MO. They are looking to crush anything in the strike zone, and I think they did that today. It was only 3 runs, but it was nice enough to get the victory in a horrible, horrible weather game.
And 2 of the 3 runs came off of a dribbler down third and a sacrifice bunt. Hey, take the runs any way you can get it, man. Stop hitting it hard. Hit it soft. 2 out of the 3 runs came off of soft hits. And also, thank you, Patrick Wisdom. Mercy. I love bad defense.
Well, and in this game now, if you're a Cubs fan, you're looking at it and you're thinking probably Smiley was scratched because he's on the bereavement list. You kind of wish you didn't have to use Keegan Thompson. He's your best pitcher so far this season. and maybe you would use him with Hendricks tomorrow in a perfect situation because there was no offense. Frank Schwindel is off to a terrible start this season.
Thank you.
Suzuki struck out. He was 0 for 4 tonight. He was my pick to have a big game. Really, it was Nico Hoerner was the guy that had some, and Ian Happ had some offensive moments, I guess. But other than that, the Cubs, yes, they left the bases loaded, I think, in the 4th inning, but having Yan Gomes instead of Wilson Contreras because Contreras has, we're going to find out from Ryan Herrera, it sounds like some middle-of-the-body injury, they're calling it, and he's day-to-day, I think, but, you could have used Wilson Contreras, who's a White Sox killer, could have used his bat tonight.
Indeed, because Yan Gomes bailed out the Sox a couple times. I didn't want that Nick Madrigal whole thing to be here in this game because if Nick Madrigal came up in that inning after they already scored a run with the bases loaded, a triple was going to be hit. Minimum. He was going to get his revenge. But Yan Gomes says, I'm going to swing at this 3-2 pitch that's tailing in on me or coming in on my bat and give a pop-up and then strike out another time. I love Yan Gomes. He is the best Cubs catcher I've seen ever because never put that Wilson Contreras guy in there. I do not like him. He is good at baseball. He tosses the bat 1,000 miles to the moon when he hits a home run off us, and he talks shit. And, you could just have your Yan Gomes out all day long. And it was good to see that. And I was talking smack to Cody, too, because Nick Madrigal threw one good throw, and he's like, let me have that. Let me have Nick Madrigal throw one
play. It was a great play.
That man's average as hell.
And Herb, we talked about this. We talked about this on CHGO Bets, Cody. The fact that, I picked Michael Kopech to strike out 5.5 more. He didn't today just because you look after Jason Hayward, and it is Yan Gomes. Nico Hoerner did come through, but it is not an intimidating lineup really after Suzuki. This is a Cubs lineup that does have a really good makeup. I really do like their ability to make contact, ability to work counts. The guy I never heard of, Alfonso Rivas, his second plate appearance versus Michael Kopech was fantastic.
14 pitches.
That was great to see, and it was a long at-bat, 10 minutes of this game was just that at-bat alone. But, it just shows you that you said it, Herb, we have this expectation for the White Sox up to the Yankees, up to the Blue Jays, up to, the top teams of the AL East, that they should beat up on teams like the Cubs. And no offense to Cody and Luke, this is a very, very scrappy team. And I think Jed Hoyer did put together a team that's capable of winning games and competing in the NL Central. But without the star power outside of Suzuki, it is, fairly lackluster when you're going up with Tim Anderson, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, Michael Kopech. Those players are star-like. Some of them aren't there yet, like Kopech, but some of them are. Tim Anderson, and he might be the difference maker in this game, but you have to have difference makers to win games, and that's what you saw today for the Sox.
And Sean, after that Rivas 14 pitch at bat, summarily gets put off of first base with the dumb base running error. Usually you're supposed to freeze or go back. The ball was not hit that hard. It was 86, 87 mile per hour liner right to Jose Abreu, and Jose Abreu, slow of foot, beats Rivas back to first. Inning-ending double play. Beautiful. Enjoy your 14 pitch at bat, Mr. Rivas. I know who you are now because you make boneheaded base running mistakes.
The Cubs didn't play clean baseball. That is the bottom line of game one. They didn't play clean baseball. I did see someone in the chat saying, I think it was Steven, thinking they were going to tussle after the 2 hit batters. There were some really stupid reactions on Twitter about that.
Yeah.
Stupid reactions on Twitter? Never seen
honestly,
that before.
the dumbest reaction of the night was Russa. I don't understand why he was all up in everybody's face about it. Clearly nobody was throwing. You don't want to put the first 2 guys on base to start an inning.
It was a 3-0 game. Yeah. There's definitely 100% nobody in their right mind wants to put Josh Harrison on first base. They could just throw the ball over the plate and let Josh Harrison do what Josh Harrison does. Now, hitting Tim, and Tim said it. You could read his lips. He's like, man, I know that got away from you. It's all good. And Keegan Thompson, right when he threw, he's like, oh, man, that's my bad. And they were smooth about it. No one was crossed. They don't want to put the first 2 runners on in a 3-0 game. Only idiots believe in that stuff.
But I'm not sure they showed that on the Sox broadcast, by the way. They did show it on – we were watching the Cubs broadcast tonight. We're going to watch the Sox broadcast tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I saw some people on Twitter saying he should apologize if he's hit 2 batters, and we clearly saw him do it on the marquee broadcast. I don't know if he did it on the NBC Sports broadcast.
No, guys, honestly, if Keegan Thompson doesn't tell Ryan Herrera that he is deeply apologetic for hitting Tim Anderson and Josh Harrison, we're going to have issues. I might have to go take a visit down to Wrigley and talk to Keegan Thompson. What a soft reaction. I didn't see Tony La Russa have a reaction to those two hit batters, but it's extremely soft. We saw the weather and what it was like today. Hit batters are up across MLB everywhere, and they've been going up every single year. It's completely soft with the ball, the way the weather was today. If you're upset about either of those hit by pitches, you are just stupid. The one guy who didn't want to do that is the guy throwing the ball, was Keegan Thompson. He looked genuinely upset that he hit both of those batters.
How do you guys feel about Kopech? It feels like mixed reactions because he got the job done, but I know you'd like to see him pitch more innings. I mean,
yes, it's ridiculous. I know that 14 pitch at bat by Rivas really threw him off, but he's a starter. He's supposed to, like, the bare minimum is 5 innings, the very bare minimum, and he only got through 4. Yeah, he looked good and he lowered his ERA, but this continues. This is going to cost us bullpen. The bullpen can't be covering 5 innings each game. So, yes, Kopech was mad because he knows he didn't do his job today. He fell short of what he was supposed to do with only 83 pitches. And I'm next to the guy who asked the question right here. Was it gas money or beer money at that time?
It was beer money at that time.
Yeah. So, yes, I am not happy with what Michael Kopech did today. At the bare minimum, as his progression goes, 5 innings is the bottom where he should be at right now. I was expecting at least 6 because the last 2 starts, I believe he went 5 innings each. So going 4 versus the Cubs, I know the conditions are bad, but hell, battle through. Pitch 5 innings. Lessen pitches. Like, you only had 5 strikeouts, so it wasn't like you were striking out 10 and so your pitch count went up. No, you struggled today. It wasn't a great game for Michael Kopech. It was an average game for Michael Kopech. I expect more out of him. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, he struggled today in a way, but I think that you can give him a little bit of a pass with the actual conditions. I mean, it was an average start when it comes to called strikes and whiffs. He was at 27%. And one thing I really did like was his fastball looked electric, Herb. Let's look at this map here. I sent this to Steven. I want to show you his pitch mix right here, at least his pitch map. Do we have it? I don't know. Anyways, if you'll see it right there, Herb. Do you see that with the left-handed hitters? There is no pitches up there. That is Michael Kopech's nasty tailing four-seam fastball. He just has this nasty ride that just goes into right-handed hitters and away from left-handed hitters, and he was controlling it right there. And we saw this in his last outing. The slider and the curveball weren't great, but he was able to make do, I feel, with one pitch. I really don't think that he does well in the rain. He doesn't do well in the cold, and I understand that you're worried about the bullpen now, but we did get to see some interesting things. I mean, the Cubs didn't expect to throw out, Scott Efros today. They were expecting to throw Smiley. Sometimes in baseball, you're going to have this, but I think it would be really, dumb to be upset at Michael Kopech here, because I think that he battled with the elements. I think that he battled with what he actually had up there. And what you're looking for is for him to have quality at bats each time he faces somebody. 15 out of the 18 times he threw a first pitch strike. I mean, that's something that you love to see. Michael Kopech is turning into a starter. We know that baseball players take at least 3 years to fully come into form. And it's like, honestly, driving a Porsche out into the snow. It's going to give you trouble. It's going to give you difficulty. But once it gets warmer, once it gets nice on the highway, once that rubber grips the road, Herb, we will see a great, fantastic Michael Kopech. I really liked what we saw. The stuff is good, and also the stuff wasn't as good because, you could see just in the metrics, the spin was down about 100 RPMs on his breaking ball stuff. He just didn't have the same grip that he is used to having. I think that with his stuff, this was absolutely a fine performance because the Cubs only scored 1 run, Herb. One run is very good. I understand that you want more innings, but still, I mean, you set down, 14 batters, and you only allow 1 run?
Hey, Sean, when are we going to start babying this guy? He's in the starting rotation in the major leagues. 5 innings is the minimum you should be pitching. The minimum. If you're going to be a champion, if we're going to be champions, we need Michael Kopech to be a champion. So get your weight up. Get your weight up.
All right. Get your weight up. I understand her, but you also saw the reaction.
Yeah, I judge him at a higher level than just some also ran. He was a big-time part of that trade for Chris Sale. It's time to stop babying the man. Let's go.
You know what? It was. What were you saying with Dylan Cease in his first year? Look at what Dylan Cease is now. I'm not babying him. He is doing a good job. You know what? Who's not doing a good job? Dallas Keuchel going out and throwing 4 2/3 and giving up 5 walks in an outing. This is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous take, Herb.
I don't hold him starter. Sean, I don't hold him to the standard of Dallas Keuchel. I hold him to a top of the rotation arm standard. And for that to happen, you at least have to go 5 innings. No, it's not a good outing. It's not a good outing at all. Yes, the conditions are bad. Yes, it's cold. Stop excusing that. Don't do it.
He threw 3 times last year over 50 pitches in an outing. He is just not used to this. This is the 3rd time in his career he's gone over 80 pitches. It makes sense that he just might not have it early on in the season because a lot of guys don't have it, but he has enough to get him through. And guess what? The White Sox won again while he took the bump. If he's winning and he's taking them deep enough, he's not going out of the 2nd inning like Dallas Keuchel did in Cleveland. He is giving them quality enough innings. And you saw the reaction. I like the reaction. There is fire and intensity in this kid. He shows the stuff of an ace, and he will show it when the weather warms up.
I guarantee you ask Michael Kopech his outing, he was going to say, this is subpar. I'm not this. I'm better than this. Of course. But that's what I'm holding up to that standard.
And I have the understanding that he knows he can be better than this. I have the understanding that there was horrible weather today, that it rained for 9 straight innings.
We got to talk about the Cubs now, Sean. Sorry. We got to stop talking about
I was going to say, Cody, you see what we've done, what I've done here.
Yeah.
They won 3-1, and cheers. We've got them fighting against each other.
Cheers.
All I had to do was mention Kopech.
Yeah. Shout out to some guy named Blake who said I was a whiner. Perhaps change your name so we can know what to call your name.
Hey, man.
His last name's Whiner.
I always say, man, you go and criticize somebody, put your name on it.
Or no, he called me a sore loser. My bad. Someone else called me a whiner. Maybe that was Alexander.
I didn't mean it.
I've personally, honestly, while they've been arguing, I've been reading the comments just to see.
But
welcome.
No, from the Cubs side, Cody, like the frustrating part for Cubs fans is that the beginning of the season, those first 7 or 8 games, they showed the contact that Sean was talking about. The offense was there. They were putting the ball in play, and they were getting enough runs to win games. And it was like, oh, this is the game plan that they were going for, and it is going to work. And now we've kind of seen that same offense dwindle into an offense that's providing 1 run, 2 runs.
The reason that the Cubs have struggled to score runs the last week and a half or so, Frank Schwindel is really struggling. The league has adjusted to his performance at the end of last year. People are out on him. People are still waiting or still holding out some hope. The Cubs are in a position where they just are going to play him and see what happens, which is fine. But I don't want to even say that the Cubs were hoping that he was going to continue that, but just give them half of that production. Bat 275, on base of like 330, perhaps, and slug over 400. You would take that at first base for someone like Frank Schwindel, who's spent his entire career in the minors. But he's not even doing that right now. He literally has a weighted runs created of like 60 right now. It's not great, Bob.
No, it's not. And they struck out a lot. Like these contact first guys struck out 12 times against the White Sox. Rivas struck out twice. Suzuki struck out twice. Happ struck out once. Schwindel struck out twice. Wisdom K'd 3 times in the game. You go down the list, and it was almost like watching the Cubs of 2 years ago when it was, if you don't get a home run, you strike out. And in this case, it was they didn't have anything, and they struck out. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad for any player that had to be a part of this game. Like, as a batter, it must have been miserable. Michael Kopech and all the Cubs relievers that went out there, they wasted 5 relievers. Miserable. The game never should have been played today. Mm-hmm. And it never.
Tell that to the person in the comments.
It also never should have been scheduled this way.
Yep.
Having 2 Chicago teams play the first week of May in Chicago is stupid.
Right.
Like, we know the weather here is not good until after Memorial Day. Why wouldn't they put 2 games in June and 2 in August or September? To put 2 Chicago teams where you know the weather is going to be awful it's asinine. It makes no sense at all. And then to play the game, you're watching it on television, and it's just like this. It looked like, I don't know how, Herb, you might remember this, the Bears game they played when they retired Whose number was it?
Butkus and Sayers.
Butkus and Sayers. It looked like that Monday night game where the rain was just like whipping sideways across the field and people are sitting there in nothing but trash bags. Like, how bad did you want to play this game tonight? You could have played a doubleheader. Heck, you could have played a doubleheader tomorrow when it's supposed to be better. You could have played Thursday when you have common off day.
Right.
You could have played later in the season where we talked about it before the game started, Herb, and we were saying, it'd be kind of cool if they did the crosstown thing. If they have to reschedule a doubleheader, wait till they play the Sox later in the season and play a day game on the south side, a night game on the north side, or vice versa. I don't care which, but there was a better way to handle it than putting guys out there. This game was so bad weather-wise that the Sox couldn't even play their best player.
Nope.
Well, you couldn't even have Robert out there because you were afraid he was going to get hurt.
Sean?
And I'm with you, Stuckey, because you also look at now I'm off my track with Jose Ruiz in the sixth inning. We talked about the Yan Gomes at bat. You only have like 5,000 people in the stadium. Like, it was billed as 30,000 or whatever. I mean, this is the Crosstown Classic, and you have people. I mean, that broadcast got loud for that Yan Gomes at bat. That's Yan Gomes versus Jose Ruiz, and you have people getting very, very loud in a horrible, horrible weather game in the sixth inning. Like, I want more like electricity with these games, and you're exactly right. The fact that you're putting it in this weather window where we know that games are going to be horrible. There was a stat on the NBC broadcast that the Sox have played 6 games in 45-degree weather or colder. The Cubs have played 5 games in 45-degree weather or colder. That's a sign that tells you that it should be a 140-game season, and the game should start probably mid-May.
And we should have a pitch clock.
Perhaps.
Amen.
Don't get me started.
Or, as my guy Rami says, let's put a roof on it, on all of them. We can play the games starting in February. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hell, put a roof on every stadium. Do it now. And Adolf, I saw his comment earlier. Yeah, I'm pissed at a 10-13 team. Sorry, guy.
Well, you should be.
That's championship aspirations. Sorry, I can't be all cheery. Oh, the White Sox won 10 games. Ooh. I'm not that guy. You go to a different podcast if you want that guy. Please, Jesus.
Herb, yeah, no, I mean, you really were off your rocker here, saying that they should do better during an 8-game losing streak.
Listen, I'm here for Cody when he gets depressed. I'm here for Herb. I still believe that this is the way it works here in Chicago. They got to win against the Angels, your Sox, and now they're going to use the Cubs as a springboard. And you watch.
I've said it for like the last 2 weeks.
They'll be 5 games over 500 at least by the time the All-Star break comes around. I'll be stunned if they're not.
I think there will be a team
that
that will be in first place.
Yeah,
by the end of May.
Could be shorter than that. I'm just saying by the All-Star game, they're going to be just fine.
But I can't be mad at the team that's playing piss poor and has a piss poor record. So that's what I'm about. Yes, they won 2 in a row. Let's make it 3 in a row. And then let's make it 4 in a row. I got to be holding them to their own general manager's words. This is a championship team. And ask him after the parade. Right now, they're in 3rd place. I'm happy about the wins. But also, I'm not overjoyed that the White Sox are playing some type of top-notch baseball. They're not.
Well, they're not playing top-notch baseball, but it is an improvement on what we've been seeing. I think we can say that. We can be happy that, the White Sox won this game, and we could also say that we need more of an improvement. And I think that the improvement will come. I don't think that we can just sit here and say, oh, the White Sox are playing a horrible game. I think if you look at the game today, they played a very aggressive brand of baseball that I think is very suitable to them. They put 26 balls in play. That is the 11th time this year that they've put 26 balls in play, and they had a lot of balls that were above 95 miles per hour again. Herb, we've talked about this probably 13 or 14 times. We've seen balls hit 95 plus miles per hour off the Sox bat in one single game. The Sox have been aggressive. I like to see that aggression, and I think that we've been seeing people really settle into these roles. We saw Tim Anderson. I think that he's really settling into this role. Jose Abreu looked great today, and AJ Pollock hit a lot of balls hard. So I think that if you're not seeing the crazy wind where even Steve Stone said it on the broadcast, where Jason Hayward goes towards left center and then backs up towards right center on that AJ Pollock fly ball. I mean, it was tricky weather today. I think that's obviously going to hurt a team that's hitting a lot of fly balls, a lot of balls in the air. But I have seen a less reliant on ground balls by the White Sox today, a lot more line drives, a lot more fly balls, which is a lot of things that the White Sox needed to see going from 2021 to 2022. So a lot of hard hit balls that are up in the air. I like to see that from the Sox, and we've been getting that on a more consistent basis because I think the approach has been better.
And to flip it from like a Cubs perspective on why like I'm angry, there's a couple people in the comments who are like, why are you so angry? The Cubs are rebuilding. People, it is like I don't sit here wanting to talk about losses. I just don't. So and also Jed Hoyer told me this team was going to compete this year. Also, Tom Ricketts went on Marquee last year and told me this team was going to compete this year.
What, you don't like Marquee?
No, I like Marquee more than most people. I don't love it, but you know. But again, the Cubs, they can play like they did those first 12, 13 games if some of their hitters just get out of the funk that they're in. That's easier said than done.
Oh my God,
they're better than what?
Is he back?
He's back. Jack
So
23 is back again with yet another $50 super chat.
Holy
Hold up, guys.
fuck.
We got to do another DJ air horn here.
Well done. Thank you, Jaxo.
The Yankees just beat down the Blue Jays 10-1, and the White Sox will need that offense for that series. I can't agree more. The offense has to probably put more runs on the board if we're going to have a chance to compete with a team like the Yankees.
Can I come in here? Because Jaxo's right. I mean, the Yankees have been winning because of their offense. I think that's now 11 straight. So, I mean, that's very impressive for the Yankees here. But if you look at the White Sox, they have just as many barrels per plate appearance as the Yankees do. They have a very similar amount of hard hit ball profile, and no expert says it down here. I think it was just a little bit up, but he said the White Sox are top 5 in hard hit percentage and average exit velocity, and yet bottom 5 in on base percentage and runs scored. What even is that? Well, that is just something that needs to change. Either the OBP and runs scored, ranking is going to change, or the top 5 in hard hit percentage and average exit velocity is going to change. I think that it's more plausible that the White Sox are going to hit the ball hard more times that they're up there. So I think that the OBP will change. I think the runs scored will change. So that's why I'm a little bit more bullish on the Sox. And that's why I think that, when the Yankees come to town later in May, when it is a warmer series, that's supposed to be 60 when Cleveland and Yankees come to town next week, I do think we'll see more offense from the Chicago White Sox.
Maloney wants to know if you can never say and bring up Tusk again. He'll do a super chat for that.
$49.99, whatever you want.
You can pay me, and I'll just bring up Tango in the Night. Let's go, Baloney. I can go, as many deep on Fleetwood Mac as you want me to.
Is that Tony Baloney? Tony Balonovich?
I think his real name's Peter.
Oh.
Herb and Sean,
Peter,
greater than
it's
sign
Peter,
those other guys.
It's Peter Balonovich, by the way.
That's not true. The real Matt Latos. I got you, but
I'm not
we're not
putting
better.
that one
We're
on
not
screen.
better. We're just
No. We're
just
all at a
different.
very elite level, all of us.
In case
I'll remember that.
In case Sean or the Sox fans or Herb didn't know, the reason most Cubs fans, you'll see them chime in on this chat occasionally, and they're always on the CHGO Cubs chat, they're angry is many of them believe the Cubs should never, ever be in a rebuild. And I've seen some come across tonight, and that one of them was asking, Steven says, when's the last time the Dodgers or Yankees were rebuilding? And, there is some truth to the fact that, like,
The Yankees somewhat rebuild in 2016.
But on the fly, though.
you can
On the
rebuild.
fly,
You can
yeah.
rebuild on the fly. This is
Somewhat.
more of a. They sold off all of the 2016 team to start the rebuild instead of maybe part of it. And the problem is that maybe part of that blame can, when you see it now in hindsight, maybe part of that blame should go to some of the players. Maybe they were asking too much when you see some of the values, and other guys maybe they were asking for a close amount, but.
Yeah.
That's why it's frustrating, because we know that when Wrigley Field is full, that is a cash cow. Wrigleyville is a cash cow. And so there is money there to be spent. Now, I don't know that Carlos Correa right now is making this team that much better, because, frankly, it's just one bat, and Nico Hoerner has been one of the few surprises you've found on the team this season. Seiya has looked like, until the last couple days, Seiya has looked like the real deal in right field. That looks like a good signing. Nico Hoerner made a spectacular play at shortstop. That play was good. I don't care if that was Javi making it, Tim Anderson making it. That was a legit play by a shortstop at the major league level. And he's had more than one of those this season. Yeah. And he's been one of their consistent hitters. And I am starting to buy into the Nico Hoerner. Okay, he's moved up now from 9th in the lineup to 7th in the lineup. I got to tell you, I don't have any reason to have him below Hayward at this point. Like, if Hayward's batting 8th, or 6th, you need to move him up to 6th.
I love my dude Hayward as much as anybody. he shouldn't be playing baseball for the Cubs anymore. Just pay him that money. It's a sunk cost.
Robinson Cano just got
Michael
paid.
Hermosillo.
Yeah.
See what you have in that. Or some other young player. I know Hermosillo's in his mid-20s, late 20s. Whatever. I know what Jason Hayward is. He's a great dude. He is not a great baseball player. Pay him his money, send him on his way, make him a coach, whatever you do. Don't play him in baseball anymore. I know he's even having a decent year for himself. So I'm from a White Sox perspective, that's how I feel. I don't know why. I know David Ross and him are buddies, so he's got to be in the lineup every once in a while, and he makes a bunch of money. But go somewhere else. He'll be a great coach somewhere.
I got a question. You guys take him on the south side, extra outfielder?
Hell no.
Just question.
Hell no.
I mean, if you want to take on Dallas Keuchel, then maybe I'll entertain it. But that's the starting point there. I do want to ask you guys though, because you see Alfonso Rivas at first base, you do see Patrick Wisdom at third base. I do wonder though if you do end up keeping Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo here, and then you make a play for Carlos Correa. Does the Madrigal trade happen, right? And I just think that there's so many options that if the Cubs were more aggressive, that you would see a better team, a team that does have more of those difference makers, because you see Rizzo's still, killing it out in New York right now. Chris Bryant was at least good enough to get a $182 million contract. So I do wonder, if Seiya had a little bit more help from what the Cubs had in the past, this team would definitely be more competitive. I do think that this team still could be wild card-ish. They do need guys to step up and be a little bit better, like Schwindel and Wisdom. Right now, I'm not too worried about him as a Sox fan, as someone who's going up against the Cubs. But I do think that there is at least potential to, see a 500 team in this Cubs, lineup and this Cubs rotation, and their bullpen's fantastic.
Sean, I don't know how I do know how Cody feels, but I'm a believer in it was the right move to tear it down. The mistake they made was what Joe is saying on the chat. They didn't tear it down soon enough. They wanted to give those guys one more run at it, and they probably should have broken up that core, at least part of it, earlier when they had a little more value in some of those guys, and the rebuild would have happened faster because you would have had more in return for some of those guys. When they didn't do that, it slowed it down. They pushed them all out at once. But I still believe with the guys they got back and the guys they've drafted, and they've changed some things in the front office, they're closer now as an organization to competing for a World Series in my eyes. Despite what you saw in this game against the White Sox, the organization is closer to being World Series ready than they would have been had they brought back the majority of those guys, because that wasn't working. They had to try something different, and the big part is the farm system was completely empty, and it's not anymore. And so now you're going to be able to feed it with the farm system. So Cody, what do you think? I think they did the right thing. They just waited a little bit too long.
Yeah. What I think is that they waited too long on, making a trade, including one of those guys earlier to get something back, prospects, and perhaps like they did with Yu Darvish. I think Chris Bryant is. I know I don't think he's hit a homer yet for Colorado.
He's
but
hurt the IL
He's hurt
too.
now too.
Yeah, I know it's not off to a great start with like a fantastic start like I thought. But I think they will miss him the most. I know Javi's off to the best start for them. And you look at this lineup now and you're like, man, Javi would probably be really good in this lineup considering all the contact bats they do have. Javi brings that instant power surge that the Cubs really need right now.
Rizzo's decent too.
But I also don't, at the time, you just didn't feel like Javi was going to finally adjust to the rest of the league, because he still led the league in strikeouts last year, or at least strikeout percentage. And that's why I feel like we won't miss him as much. And also with the way he plays the game, he's just he can be very, it could lead to injuries. And so I didn't know about Chris Bryant. You can play him corner outfield, play him at third base if you need to. And then it's just a quality at bat every time. And Rizzo, yeah, he's hitting all those homers, but there's also a short porch in New York. Not anything against him. I love the guy. They should build a statue for him at Wrigley Field someday. But again, he's just really thriving in New York because he really benefits that ballpark. Obviously, there's a lot of talent that goes with that. But still, when he was with the Cubs, he was notoriously known for struggling in April. He's in New York now, where again, I think one of his homers, like, I read a tweet. Who knows if it's true or not because it's the internet. But it was literally like barely 300 feet that he hit that homer on this tweet that I saw. So either way, short porch, all of that stuff, it does play a factor, I think, into Rizzo's hot start. But again, I'm happy that he's playing well because he's a good dude.
Jaxo wants to pay his salary, apparently. Another super chat from Jaxo. $19.99 from Jaxo. I hope this team will have a good record against teams above 500, and they're off to a good start beating the Rays and the Mariners. That one's about the Sox. But still, hey, I mean, it's money to go to your players, guys. So, I mean, Jaxo is trying to help the CHGO cause and help Cody get out of this this depression of his.
Well, only PointsBet can do that for Cody right now.
Yeah, I'm going to be gambling on adults swinging wooden bats all season to make up for the Cubs. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you make a $50 more first-time deposit, receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. If you have any questions, email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you. Remember that PointsBet is your home for live in-game betting. They even have a new exclusive feature, Live NBA Same Game Parlay. For the first time ever, build the perfect live same game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. You can even boost your live same game parlays. And now online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can actually download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. I know we are coexisting with the Sox guys, but on the Cubs podcast, when I do this read, I let everyone know if Luke can sign up for PointsBet, literally anyone can do it, because watching Luke use his iPhone it's honestly a treat sometimes.
Do you have your glasses on your bridge of your nose when you do it?
Yes.
I don't even know where they're at. Oh, here they are. They're readers. They're not glasses. They're readers. There's a big difference.
What's that number? Is that a 7?
I swear it's a treat. So, again, if Luke can sign up for PointsBet, all of you in the chat can do it as well. Signing up with the fastest sportsbook is now easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. Use code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. So what are you waiting for once the game starts? Don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Very nice. Very nice. You know what? I feel like I wouldn't even need these readers if I would just take my athletic greens every day. I've been doing it like every 5 days, 5 out of 7 days, but I got to get back on track.
I mean, I've been doing it every day though.
And you feel good?
I feel good. I don't like to eat healthy. You
Right.
can see.
Right. Nobody does.
And I
Nobody
wanted
does.
to get
What
better.
goofball wants to eat healthy?
Gut health, Luke.
Right.
Now I've been on it for almost 2 months since we started working here. They gave us a free pack. I got to order a new one, and I love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has all kind of mild tropical taste that I actually like and look forward to every morning. I put it in my smoothies, guys. So what is this stuff? It's just 1 scoop of AG1. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, and your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. I'm 43. I'm almost old, almost dead. This AG1 gets me right. All the things. I get noticeable boosts of energy. I take it first thing in the morning and on an empty stomach, and I'm all ready for the day. It's awesome. And lifestyle friendly, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, you're all good with AG1. You're investing in your all-in-one nutritional insurance for less than $3 a day. It's recommended by professional athletes, and it has more than 7,000 5-star reviews. Right now, it's time for you to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's 1 scoop of AG1, 8 to 12 ounces. I like 10 because I like it nice and more AG1-y than watered down at the 12. That's it. No need for a million different pills, no supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is giving you a free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO socks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO socks. athleticgreens.com/CHGO socks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
I also put my AG1 in a smoothie.
Do you get the ones from Costco? We talked about this already. I just put
The smoothie at Costco.
the Costco. They have a bag where it's already
yeah.
pre-made.
Sure, yeah.
A bunch of fruits. Put it in a blender with some oatmeal or some almond milk, oatmeal, and then the AG one in there. Mercy. Let's
Herb,
go.
You killed that ad read, man.
Thank you.
Did.
Yeah.
You got to
It's
start.
delicious.
You got to start doing the Athletic Greens one for us.
I'm gonna do it if you want me to. I've never was
Let's
asked for it.
go.
All right,
Herb's
take it
up.
off your
Herb's stepping
shoulders,
to the
kid.
plate. Hey,
And I really,
Bill,
I think you guys think I'm kidding. I do AG1. It doesn't look like it. I do it though.
I believe him.
Gives you a little
don't-
boost
don't
of
front.
energy. Does give
hell
you a little
yeah.
energy boost.
Every time I see Herb, he's always just like
Just adapt.
ready to go. He's like, I'm vibing, baby.
I'm like, man, these adaptogens, huh?
Yeah, and whatever.
Yeah.
And the 43 age insult was a little too close to my chair, by the way, pal.
I'm sorry, man.
Because I've been taking the AG1, and when I started here, everybody walked in and was like, oh, Grandpa Stucky, look at him strolling in here. He can barely walk across the room. Then I started taking AG1, and now I'm like, I do a push-up every time somebody gets a foul ball in the game, and you guys are like, whoa. Watch out for that
Yeah,
dude.
Stucky's looked a lot different since he started getting on
Yeah,
AG1.
I'm getting ripped. You guys know it. Anyways,
a
Sox win.
moment.
Sox win 3-1. Game 1 of the series. We're still waiting and hoping that Ryan Herrera and Vinnie Duber will be able to join
It's
us.
a terrible ballpark. You got to walk up yourself. No elevators
well,
up
you know-
there. Garbage.
You know why? What are we at? Like 40 minutes in the podcast. We haven't heard from them yet. You know what the reason is? They're frozen solid. They had to get a crane at Wrigley Field's press box to bring them back down to get the media interviews because everybody's frozen solid like Han Solo and Carbonite.
Yeah, you can't
I
drop
don't get
them;
that
they'll
reference.
just shatter.
I
into
believe
pieces.
it.
What was that, Sean?
You just can't drop them; they'll shatter into pieces. Then they'll have to sweep up Vinny and Ryan.
I mean,
A game like this, though, made me quit baseball. I was standing on second base, and it was like 40 degrees in this horrible Chicago weather with 20-plus mile-per-hour winds. And I was standing on second base, and I was just like, "F this shit, I'm out." Like this is horrible.
When you were a
to
kid?
stand in and play. Yeah, 8th grade. I smartened up at an early age. You know,
it was the weather. For me,
Oh,
it was just a
absolutely.
curveball. I saw my first curveball, and I'm like, yeah,
I'm
good.
I got hit by pitches a lot.
Yeah, that's a problem, too.
Yeah,
I was soft.
I was like,
Was
I'm,
Keegan
I'm
Thompson
soft.
pitching?
I'm done. What'd you say?
Was Keegan Thompson pitching?
Ayo.
No.
Hey.
no.
Ball
Keegan
went into the
Thompson.
right field bleachers if Keegan Thompson was pitching. You know what I'm saying, Cody?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I know when I was
Tim
a
Anderson
freshman.
hit a home run.
I was a freshman B teamer, and they made me DH. I was like, oof, I'm not good at baseball anymore. Let's stop that.
You ready for this stat, by the way? You mentioned Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson this season, 20 and a third innings, just 2 earned runs.
Pretty good.
That is a building piece. 3 hit batters, one of them on purpose, most likely. Okay.
Not most
One of them
likely.
on purpose for sure, and it
100%
wasn't tonight. So
yeah.
he actually has more hit batters than he does earned runs.
Face Tim Anderson again. That'll be equal because Tim Anderson takes garbage pitches deep.
There was a comment from somebody saying they need to throw at Contreras' ear next game. First of all, Contreras is not playing tomorrow, it sounds like. And again, please, if anybody watched the game, that was not on purpose. You don't put 2 on it to start the inning.
If the Cubs went up there and hit 27 straight White Sox, the last thing you do is retaliate. It's the dumbest stuff in the world. Just win the game. Hit the ball hard when they do pitch it over the plate. Throwing at somebody because they threw at you, I think is garbage. Now, I know Cub fans are out there looking at this and saying, well, the Brewers have been doing this for years versus us, and when Keegan Thompson did it, it was finally like a payback for them. I don't mind that as much, but I still think it's childish. You're giving the guy a free base, so play the game. Don't hit anybody. If you're not hitting anybody intentionally, the game is all good. And if you are, like, if the White Sox feel a certain way because their damn manager felt that Keegan Thompson was throwing at Harrison, it better be Josh Hamilton. Hamilton would be much better.
Depends on when
Then
you're.
he's
Maybe
fucked
not
up.
these days.
I mean, I would still take Josh Hamilton over Josh Harrison.
I mean,
batting-wise.
Angels Josh Hamilton. I don't know if I want.
Batting-
That just sounds like Manny Ramirez on the White Sox. But
my
yeah, I mean, I think you're right, Herb. And baseball is a weird sport. I mean, just Keegan Thompson had 2 bad pitches that got away from him. I don't think we need to start a crosstown rivalry or anything like that. It's just stupid to start anything off of it. And you see, like, the White Sox have a ton of balls that are hit on lines at 100 miles per hour plus, and they find defenders, and that's weird baseball. And then you see Frank Schwindel get that hit that just blooped over all the infielders and right in front of the center field. They're like, baseball is weird. That's going to happen. You might have 2 odd events happen in back-to-back at-bats. It can be a coincidence. I think it was just coincidental that Thompson hit both guys back-to-back because you didn't see that flare-up at any other time in the game. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned.
They needed a new rosin bag. Apparently that was it. I mean, it was like the thing was soaking wet. Again, weather was not fit for playing baseball. I think we might have a guest coming up soon here.
Ryan.
I think I might see Ryan Herrera.
Ryan Herrera.
There he is. Can you hear us, bud?
Hello. How's it going?
Where's Vinny?
Well, half the people here are real happy, and half of them are just kind of waiting for the next game. How were the guys that were in the press box?
Well, Sean asked, "Where's Vinny?" Vinny's working hard right now.
Good.
I think he had they had more to talk about downstairs than we did. That's for sure. Well, we're all cold up here. It was a weird day. Luke, I kind of tuned in a little bit, and you talked about how this should not be when the Crosstown Classic should be played.
Yeah.
The thing that comes in the Sox should not be on May 3rd. I completely agree. So I've been kind of saying, like, for fans, of course, this series means something. You want bragging rights and stuff like that, but just the way they are making it two-game series, and it feels like the players don't care about it that much, and now they're putting this game in May when the weather is going to be crappy, and they know that. It's just like they're really not doing a whole lot to get people invested in these games. So, yeah. Spiel on that, on why this game should have been like 2 months later.
Ryan, what was the pregame update that Ross gave on Wilson Contreras? Is he 100% out for tomorrow? Is it something Cubs fans should be concerned about? What's going on?
So he just said that he's dealing with something. Didn't really go into too many specifics about it. Just that he's kind of day to day. This is something, I don't know. Yeah, he didn't really give us a good answer on what exactly it was. Oh, I just had a friend behind me. A good answer on what exactly it was. Just that he's day to day dealing with something, keeping it kind of under wraps. So yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. But for now, I don't know that he'll play tomorrow. I know they said he was available off the bench potentially today. So I think that means maybe he won't start tomorrow. Maybe Yan Gomes will be back in there again. For now, day to day.
Well, he'd like to see at least his bat in there as the DH for Game 2.
Nope, no one would like
The
that.
Sox wouldn't like to see it. But.
Well, I guess I'm glad that it's just day to day. It's been very up and from our perspective, we just didn't really know. What else? What about Keegan Thompson, man? Would anything regarding the hit batsman? Any talk about that?
At least on the Cubs side, Keegan kind of snuck out of there pretty quickly. So we didn't really get a chance. But look, the weather was crappy. By the time Keegan was on the mound, it was like consistent rain, and it's hard to control baseball. As you could tell by his body language, I guess on the replay, it kind of showed that both of them. He was like, "It's my bad," and TA's like, "You're good." So just nothing to that. Maybe Vinny has something else on that they talked about downstairs. It looked like Tony was not very happy about it. So maybe Vinny has better answers. At least on our side, it just kind of felt like two balls slipped out of his hand. I don't think down 2 or 3 runs, whatever it was the time, he's trying to hit Josh Harrison and Tim Anderson on the first 2 pitches of an inning. But that's probably Vinny could better answer that one.
Ryan, where does this rank in bad games weather-wise that you've covered at Wrigley? Because it seemed horrible when we saw the one. Hey, it's Vinny! Hey, Hey, Vinny, you might get this joke. You could call us. You could call us David Byrne and Chris France because we're talking heads.
I see what you
He said we could call it something about us being talking heads. Let me take these out.
Oh, we're the talking heads. Not really. The band is talking heads. They don't really use the, so you got to remember that.
Damn it.
It's like the
Thanks,
Facebook.
Vinny. The Facebook.
Vinny, they were asking about the Keegan Thompson 2-hit batters. Is there any was there any talk about that downstairs?
Nothing to it. In fact, TA was asked about it, and he was like, "Come on now, you're trying to get a story out of me. That's not right." So, nothing to report on that front. I mean, certainly you can understand what was going on with the way the weather was tonight. It was just miserable here at Wrigley Field.
So was the anger
real.
from Tony on that just about the weather? Because he just seemed miserable, and they would cut away to him in the dugout. He seemed just not enjoying the weather. What did Tony have to say at all, maybe just about the weather or about the hit batsman?
Oh my goodness! He said it was maybe one of the top 10 worst conditioned games he's had in his career. And as you know, that's a very long career, so that means
Yes,
something
sir.
when it's for Russa. On the hit batter front, he didn't say anything, but you know what? I recognize the exact same reaction he had so many times last year when Jose Abreu would either get hit up and in or almost get hit up and in. Basically, he's saying if you can't control that pitch, don't throw it. And on a night like tonight, I'm sure it was hard to control any pitch so that was thrown out there with how wet and gross it was. So you can't blame Keegan Thompson too much on those ones, but certainly that's what Tony La Russa spent all last year talking about when it came to Jose Abreu. So it's a touchy subject for the skipper.
Yeah, it sort of looked like he was saying that to Jan Gomes, like, tell him, don't throw there. But, I mean, that's tough to say.
Tony has a problem with you throwing up and in. He had a problem last year with a pitcher from Cleveland throwing up and in. He says if you don't have the control to throw that pitch, do not throw it up and in, especially versus our guys. So that's probably the gist of what it is. He doesn't like his guys getting hit high. If you're sending a message, you hit them low. But if you can't control the pitch, also don't throw the pitch up and in. So that's, I think, Tony's gist of that. So Vinny and Ryan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how miserable were the conditions for you guys in the press box? I don't care about the players. You guys are professionals.
Gee, I don't know. It was cold.
One's worst.
Obviously, we didn't have to deal with the rain, which obviously the players and anybody sitting in the stands had to deal with. I've been in this ballpark for a lot of crap weather. This was up there, certainly, but again, we did have the windows closed, so we had a benefit that most people didn't have.
I'll give it a solid 8. I think the windows closed helped.
Okay.
But the windows closed helped, but it's still cold in this press box.
Vinny and Ryan, what's the biggest quote that sticks out to the both of you? What's the biggest one, maybe outside of TA saying, don't start a story here? Anything attention grabbing from postgame?
On the Cubs side, Nick Madrigal, at least pregame, he talked about, how he was excited to face Michael Kopech for the first time. And he said, basically I asked him afterwards, now that he got to face him, like what it was like. He said, obviously, Michael Kopech is an incredible talent. He's rooting for him from afar. We didn't have to talk about it a lot, but for you Sox guys, it could feel good. Nick Madrigal still thinks his old teammate is an awesome, one of the best arms in the game, is what he said. So that's a very nice story to come from Nick Madrigal. He has no ill will towards the Sox, apparently.
Good to hear.
I'll give you 2. On the serious front, Michael Kopech says that he thinks there's a lot of improvement that he's got left to do this year, which is crazy when you look at the numbers and how good they've been, how good he's been for this White Sox team so far. And on the less serious front, asked Tony La Russa about that play where Jake Berger just went crashing into the wall on the side. And he said, and Tony said, I think he moved the fence back a little bit. He's a strong kid.
And it was scary.
Did Michael Kopech feel that his performance today was satisfactory for himself? Because we saw him go off the mound, and he was really pissed when Tony took him out of the game.
You know what? It's that classic starter's mindset of wanting to, throw 9 innings every time you step on the mound. And I think, he knows the realities, not just with his season personally, but obviously with the way the game was going tonight. He knows the realities that Tony La Russa is dealing with, that the White Sox are dealing with, but he's a competitor, right? And that's what we keep hearing about Michael Kopech. And he's the guy that wants to go out there and, get all 27 outs if he can, no matter how unrealistic that might be.
Vinny, I want you to sit down in a chair or something. It looks uncomfortable the way you're standing on your hands on your knees. So I'll ask you one final one. Did Tony say anything about why he took out Kopech? Was it just, Kopech didn't have it? Was it weather related, or was it the situation? Because obviously, he was having guys on base. He needed to take them out mid-inning. So what was Tony's thinking there, taking out Kopech?
Yeah, the Cubs made him work. I mean, credit the Cubs hitters. And I think, Kopech talked about some of those at-bats. That one from Rivas that was, 14 pitches, I think. So he talked about some of those really good at-bats by Cubs hitters. And, I think, again, everybody kind of knew the situation because it was so crummy outside. And, you didn't want to, go crazy with Kopech with the way that they've got to manage him this year. So Tony said he was ready to take him out after 4. Kopech convinced him to go out there for another go of it. And once the first batter got on, he said, all right, that's enough. But, I don't think you can blame anybody on that front. And, don't worry about me. I'm in the defensive stance. I'm ready for anything.
Ryan, what can the Cubs do to help Frank Schwindel? I don't know if he talked after the game, but, I mean, he's he's off to a rough start this season, and I know that, today it was DH. He wasn't even playing first base, but that's a guy that until the Cubs get some power production out of him, I don't know that the offense is going to be super productive this season, and that just might be the case. Like, he seems like a key guy for the season moving forward.
As far as what the Cubs can do to help him, I don't know. He may just not be seeing the ball well right now. I don't have the box score in front of me, but he struck out at least 2, maybe 3 times from what I remember. He just might just not be seeing the ball well. And as well as he did last year, we knew that production probably was not likely to happen again this year over a full 162. But it's, in fact, obviously has not, and he's just striking out a lot. So maybe it's just working through some things mechanically. The weather obviously was shitty out there today, so that didn't help. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the answers. We didn't talk to Frank today. Ross didn't give us any answers for it. But right now, Frank has he's hit another rut, and that's kind of just on him to work out of it. Figure out, look at the tape, look at the replay, see what's happening, and maybe change his approach a little bit. But that's all I can think of. There's nothing that like I look when I watch and like something stands out. I was like, this is a problem. Like it's kind of overall the everything at the plate right now is just not working.
All right, I think it's time to let these two guys go. Look at this. Like, first, Vinny's quads have to just be burning, no?
It's more so my back, Luke. I think, I'm probably not going to be able to sleep very well tonight. I have to go ice down a bit, I think.
There you go.
Can I ask
this is what happened to Wilson Contreras?
Oh, no.
I got one more for Vinny. Vinny, will Luis Robert play tomorrow, and will Andrew Vaughn play tomorrow? Yes or no? To both.
I think Robert's probably a pretty good certainty. I shouldn't say certainty, but I think the idea was that he was just kind of getting a day after coming back from the absence, playing a few days in a row. You look ahead after this off day on Thursday, Sox got a ton of games in a row. So I think Tony's just trying to keep them fresh, keep them spry. I would expect Luis in there tomorrow. When it comes to Andrew, I don't know, man. It seems like that soreness isn't going away, and I'm not quite sure the White Sox know what to expect right now either. It's truly day to day with him, and that wrist, that hand. He's still feeling it when he swings, feeling it when he grips the bat. Tony said it'd be an important day tomorrow, not just to figure out, can he play in the second game of this series, but can he play this weekend in Boston? So, because he mentioned, you start adding up the days that he's missed, and it might be time to, he alluded to the fact that, it could be an IL kind of thing. But we'll see. It truly is day to day, and if he feels better tomorrow, then, I think he'll be out there.
Sounds good. Ryan Herrera and Vinnie Duber out at Wrigley Field. You can read their stuff at allchgo.com. Make sure you get a membership, guys. We'll see you later. Go get warm and do it again tomorrow, I guess.
Bye, guys.
See you guys tomorrow.
Speaking of CHGO, one way to help us grow is download the PointsBet app and use the code CHGO when you sign up. Not only do you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you get a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of that web content we were just talking about, and you get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. Lots of dope merch out there. If you have any questions, email pointsbet at allchgo.com, and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up available now in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app, register your account, start to finish, all from your phone in about 3 minutes. Signing up faster than ever with the easiest sports book there is. So start living your bet life in seconds. What are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life. PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. And has anybody here tried Strava Craft Coffee yet?
I have. So has Sean.
You guys like it?
It's great. It's a game changer, Luke.
Really? Yeah, it's supposed to, it gives you a little competitive edge. Strava is not only a game changer, it's helped thousands of people, Sean, to improve their overall wellness and quality of life, delivering delicious, fresh roasted, specialty coffee infused with organic, broad-spectrum CBD. CBD from hemp doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer real benefits that can help you feel alert, focused, without the jitters. Live your day more balanced with less anxiety and fewer aches and pains. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. And the best part, Strava is all about quality. It's small batch, fresh and shipped straight to your door. Strava also offers concentrated full-spectrum CBD tinctures if you're looking for that more traditional CBD format with a powerful entourage effect of benefits. CHGO listeners can get 25% off their entire purchase when you use the code CHGO25. That's 25% off your entire order at StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use the code CHGO25 at checkout. Discount coupon valid on non-subscription purchases only. One use per customer. Already love Strava? Well, subscribe and save with the Strava Coffee Club. And with Strava, you're in control. Save on your favorite coffees. Have them automatically delivered to your home or office on your preferred schedule. Sox win Game 1 of 4 against the Cubs this season. 3-1 the final at Wrigley Field. A miserable night at the ballpark. Let's recap quickly our clicks to pick and our who you got picks we did in the pregame show. And frankly, none of the 4 were really great.
No, not at all. My guy, Yasmani, I think 1 for 3 with a walk. That's why we like him, because he gets on base. Didn't score a run. If he would have scored a run, I would have won this whole damn thing.
You get second place.
A.J. Pollock did nothing. Sean, great pick.
Yeah, and I had Seiya Suzuki also. Bubkiss.
The worst.
Me here. The White Sox had 7 hard hit balls that were over. The top 3 of the top 7 hard hit balls by the White Sox were by A.J. Pollock. He's hitting the ball well. He's seeing the ball well. Let's get off A.J. Alan Lorenz here. The results are coming soon, Herb.
They're about results,
and
Sean.
butts, candy and nuts.
Keegan Thompson had results.
He had results.
Yeah,
Anderson had results off him.
Even though he gave up a home run, he had to be, of the 4 that we picked, he had the best game.
Yeah, he gave up the 1 run. It's fine, whatever.
So
if the Cubs offense would have showed up, things could have been different.
See, keep your head up, Cody. They're like, you just won our who you got contest.
Wait, he did?
So you got that going for you, which is nice.
You get a fist bump. That's what you get.
And you won the first inning, no runs.
First inning, no runs. Ian Happ to get a hit.
Didn't he get the loss tonight? Didn't Keegan Thompson get the loss?
Anyway, Sean.
No.
Scott Efros probably got the loss
Efros
tonight.
Yeah.
Why? He didn't give up a run.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
61-mile-an-hour dribbler down the third base line.
Oh.
He gave up the 2 runs.
They were unearned, though.
Run.
Yeah,
okay.
not an earned run.
That's on me. That's on me. That's a hand up. That's on me.
Thank you for accepting.
Sean's got mirrors in his house.
You know what we're going to do?
I got thumbs, friends.
Let's talk about tomorrow's game, because Cody and I don't want to talk about the first one.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about the next one.
That game is, yeah, you do.
No, not yet.
Because you know what? I feel when I looked at it ahead of time, I say split. That's the way I was thinking, was split going into this series. And I thought the first game was probably lost. That's when I thought it was Smiley, because I thought, well, the Sox blast left-handers. Now they go against Kyle Hendricks. And if you get the good Kyle Hendricks, which is every other start right now, he was bad in the last start, right?
Yep.
He's pitching at home where he's great. And when he has control, he makes players chase. And Herb, you can tell me, but I think I'm right when I say the White Sox sometimes chase.
Yes, sometimes they do chase. But I saw, as our guy Steven Nicholas put up on our screen, which you guys at home can't see, Jose Abreu absolutely eats versus Kyle Hendricks. Mercy. 22 at-bats, over 500 versus him. I'm waiting for that to happen tomorrow, along with our guy Josh Harrison, who I made fun of earlier. Over 400 versus Kyle Hendricks in 24 at-bats.
Probably when he was with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. We're doing well versus Kyle Hendricks. I see another victory because we got our ace going to the bump.
Yeah, you got Kyle Hendricks, who has a 4.67 ERA in 10 starts against the White Sox. And since 2020, the White Sox have a decent amount of hard hit balls. Luis Roberts sees him well. Andrew Vaughn sees him well. Jose Abreu, like you said, sees him well. So I do think the White Sox will have success against Kyle Hendricks tomorrow. And Herb, the big thing is, I just think the White Sox have Lucas Giolito going. And I think that's good enough, seeing what the lineup for the Cubs is. So I'll take the White Sox in a winner tomorrow.
What do you like about Giolito? Has he been?
He's been murdered by the Cubs in the past, but most of the players aren't on the roster that murdered him. So
and an ERA under 3 this season.
Yeah, Lucas Giolito sometimes, as we've been discussing, Sean, sometimes doesn't have his A-plus stuff, but he's a pitcher. He knows how to get out of that. Last start versus the Angels, gave up 2 solo home runs in the first inning, and then pretty much shut down the Angels from there, gave up another run, gave the Sox a chance to win that game. So every game that Lucas Giolito goes out to the bump, he'll give A-plus effort, and he's a great pitcher. Not a good pitcher. He's a great pitcher, developing into a Cy Young every single year candidate pitcher is Lucas Giolito, and he is our ace, even though we have another ace in Cy Cease.
Yeah, and he's a different pitcher. He throws the slider more. So you're going to see the slider more from Lucas Giolito, which just makes his changeup even more deadly. It's the best changeup in baseball right now, and he's really finding the life on his fastball. So I don't know if he's going to strike out a lot of guys tomorrow. Cody, I think, will still ride Lucas Giolito under K's tomorrow, but I do think that he is really on his stuff where, we saw Michael Kopech really locating his fastball either up and in to right-handed hitters today and out and away against left-handed hitters today. I do think that Lucas Giolito will be able to spot fastballs similar to Michael Kopech today, so I think you'll see success from Giolito. And then it's just about the White Sox hitting Kyle Hendricks. We'll see what the weather's like. If it's a better weather day tomorrow, I'll still take the Sox. I'm really feeling the Sox minus 1.5, Cody. I think that the Sox probably are going to win a lot of games here by 2 runs coming up. The weather's warming up, and I really am I'm getting more positive here about my Southsiders.
I'm going to start Lucas Giolito in my fantasy baseball league tomorrow. There you go.
Cody
Say something nice about the White Sox.
This is an all-time low.
There
I've
you
never
go.
seen him this low before. But
I'm
Sean,
just
I will
so
tell you
annoyed.
this. Sean says if the weather's better tomorrow, there's one thing I can guarantee. The weather can't be worse than it was tonight. So it's
Seriously.
looking up on the north side for that. Sox win Game 1, 3-1. Game 2 tomorrow, Wrigley Field, same time. We will have a pregame show at 6 o'clock right here on CHGO. Again, another Crosstown Showdown pregame show and postgame show. So thanks for dropping in and checking out the postgame show. We hope you will join us tomorrow. That's Wednesday night, Game 2 of this series, Giolito against Hendricks. Cubs fans hoping for a split. Sox hoping to go to the south side with a sweep. We will see you then.